Joining us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline, like she does every Thursday, Brooke Pryor, ESPN. She's actually in the Steelers facility right now because I guess December Pittsburgh weather. You don't want to be outside today, huh, Brooke?
I don't. Look, it's like 45 degrees. It's just overcast. It's kind of cloudy. The Steelers are practicing outside, which means that I'm allowed to be inside. So that's where I'm going to be for now and until
Makes
practice, until we finish this, and then I will, make my way over there.
You know who's not here right now where we're having this conversation? Joe Giglio. Joe Giglio is not here having this conversation. What is up with that?
You duck me for a while. Giglio ducks me for a while. I don't know.
I wasn't ducking
in
you.
the same place.
I was not ducking you. I had my
Joe?
brother's wedding and I had some hockey dad stuff going on. It's not like I talked insane amounts of junk about Matt Canada, offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And now suddenly when the Steelers offense looks pretty good, there's no Joe Giglio to be found.
I do feel like that's not a coincidence. I feel like I hope what he's doing is purchasing the Starbucks gift card that honestly should just be going up in value every single week. He said he would buy me a cup of coffee if he made it through the season. What do I get if the offense, I don't know. What do I get if he comes back next season?
No, if he comes back next season, you're getting Starbucks, at least Starbucks for the year. Brooke Pryor.
That's what I'm saying.
ESPN covers the Steelers. You can catch her on Get Up tomorrow, and this just in with Max Kellerman Friday on ESPN, but she hangs out with us on Thursday. And Baker Mayfield's supposed to be in action tonight. It's funny, we talked to Darren Gann of Panthers.com yesterday, and he made me rethink this entire season where he said, yeah, here's this former top pick that the Panthers picked up for pennies in the grand scheme of things being released by the Carolina Panthers on Monday, getting picked up by the Rams, and he's going to start on a Thursday night football game, and that's probably the fourth most interesting thing that's happened to the Panthers this season.
Yeah, that is wild to think about.
But it's also wild to think about because you've covered Baker. You were there at Oklahoma, and obviously with the familiarity in the division, covering the Steelers and the Browns right there. So you know Baker, and I think most people have to be shocked about how things have gone for him. I mean, maybe he's not this franchise quarterback, but it really fell off this year. I don't think he's fully healthy, and I don't think he was ever fully healthy this year.
I don't think so. And to me, this goes back to what I thought when he got drafted number 1 overall by the Browns. I think that he has the intangibles and the talent to be a number 1 pick. Like that, that to me isn't up for debate. It was where that destination was that I think put him on this path. And that was the Browns organization that is in it, the Browns chaos and dysfunction is inevitable. They can keep it together for a little bit and then it will fall apart at some point, whether it's a coaching change, whether it's trading for Deshaun Watson, like something's going to happen that's going to throw everything off course. And what Baker did when he came in and he had a couple of years of playing really well and took this franchise to a place that I didn't think it could go, to a place that I didn't think he could take them with no help, because traditionally he has done well when he's come into a situation that's had some stability, where he has the same people that are working with him and developing him. He builds a trust with them, a connection with them, and he helps, he elevates a program that's already good to the next level. I didn't think he could do that with the Browns. I thought that was just going to be a really tall task for him. And he defied those odds initially, but like I said, it's inevitable. And so I think that when things started to come off the rails, he gets hurt. First of all, coaches change, coordinators change. He gets hurt. He doesn't feel the support. And then he finds out that, oh my gosh, they're going to trade for Deshaun Watson. And that's just kind of like the final nail in the coffin for Baker. Like even if the Deshaun trade didn't happen, that relationship was irreparable. Like that was not gonna, that was never gonna come back. And I just go back to the idea that great quarterbacks and young quarterbacks are destroyed more often than they're made in this league because of mismanagement around them. That doesn't absolve Baker. Like there's a lot that he could have done differently. If he had sat out and had the surgery and come back totally healthy, I think that maybe we're having a different conversation. But I think also some of that is the external pressures that he was feeling. But I think that
that's true. We could talk about that with Cam Newton too, right? Cam Newton probably rushed himself back. There was mismanagement from the Panthers' perspective, but he also rushed himself back.
Right, exactly. So I think that that the situations failed Baker and made it even more difficult. He had more things to overcome. He goes into the Panthers organization. I agree with you. I don't think that he was totally healthy. And again, that was dysfunctional.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that the Rams are stable enough that he gets another chance there, but I don't think that that we should look at this and be like, well, he's going to have a career revival in LA. I think this is a Band-Aid to get through the end of 2023 with John Walford having a neck injury. And I don't even know who number 3 is, but I don't know where he plays next year. I think he ends up somewhere on somebody's roster. I hope for his sake it's one where there is maybe an entrenched starter, at least an entrenched coaching staff that will invest time in developing him.
Brooke Pryor, ESPN, covers the Steelers, catcher on Get Up, and this just in with Max Kellerman tomorrow on ESPN. Now, I don't know if it's dysfunctional, but maybe the relationship is being strained at best with our favorite subject, Russell Wilson. There was an amusing trend this week. Last week, it was who's showing up to your birthday party, right? That was last week's Russell Wilson thing. And while I'm sure Russell Wilson taped carpool karaoke with Sierra with the intent that, hey, man, we're having a great season. People are going to want to check this out. And now it's just piling on to the cringe. And then on top of that, if I can keep piling on the Russell Wilson thing, the latest trend isn't to make fun of Let's Ride. It's to compare how many bathrooms he has in his house versus how many touchdowns he's scored this season. I cannot recall somebody becoming a punchline as quickly as Russell Wilson became this season, and it just gets worse every week. Can you recall this?
No, I mean, it kind of reminds me of what happened with Baker at the end in Cleveland after he had taped all those progressive commercials and all that stuff. But even so, when he taped those and when they were initially airing, things were great, so it made sense. But the cart is so far out in front of the horse, it is states away.
Mm-hmm.
And the horse is just hanging back and is I didn't even know I had a cart to begin with. Because that's what happens when you launch this campaign on hope without ever actually seeing the on-field product first. If I am Russell's people, I'm taking a page out of the Lee Steinberg super agent playbook where he didn't want to market guys as rookies. He even did that with Patrick Mahomes. He kept all of his endorsements so close to the vest, didn't do anything until he had been in Kansas City a year. I know that Russell Wilson is not a rookie, but I would have kind of treated him in Denver like he's starting over as a rookie and you do not need to film Danger Witch commercials. You don't need to be out there doing carpool karaoke. If you buy a nice house, understandable, your wife is Sierra. I wouldn't advertise how many bathrooms are in there. Maybe get a starter mansion. I don't know how that works, but can you just do something to have a safety net or a plan B so that if things don't go the way you think they will, you don't become a punchline so quickly?
You're suggesting Russell Wilson should have bought somewhere off of Highway 64, in McGregor Downs or something like that back in the day. Don't go Governor's Club yet. Don't go Governor's Club.
No. Just a nice starter mansion with 4 bathrooms. However many kids you have, you have you,
Makes
Sierra.
total sense.
However many kids y'all have, maybe then add 1. But you don't need 12 bathrooms.
Brooke Pryor, ESPN, joining us here on the OG alongside Joe Giglio. I'm Joe Ovias. The news of the day relates to Daniel Snyder, owner of the Washington Commanders. I always want to say football club because that's the better name. Here's the thing. We know that Snyder's not a great owner. I mean, I really don't know how else to put it. We do this thing in our line of work where we ask players to speak on other player matters. Where are the other owners when it comes to Dan Snyder and the consistent black eyes that he delivers to the product? At some point, it can't just be Jim Irsay saying some stuff and Dan Snyder catches strays. This latest with the House Oversight Committee paints a really bleak picture of Dan Snyder as the owner of a football team, the most viewed product in the United States. So at what point did the other owners go, hey, dude, we can't have this anymore?
I mean, you would hope that they're there. I think that that's going to be the biggest topic at league meetings when we're at owners meetings in Arizona this year, at the Super Bowl. I mean, that is going to be the story that dominates this offseason from the ownership perspective. I think it's going to remind me a lot of when they were negotiating the CBA after the 2019 season in that 2020 interim. I mean, that to me, I think that they have to feel encouraged that Snyder seems to be taking steps to sell the team. I think that they're going to keep applying pressure because also, let's be honest, he's now costing them money. Like, it's not just that it's a bad look and that it's being politicized and all that stuff.
He was taking money. He was also taking money from other owners.
That's the thing. When he is affecting their bottom line and their paychecks and their pockets, that's the problem. That is when they're going to be like, you know what, morals aside, you took money from me and that's not okay. And, it's like, okay, however it has to happen. But I think and I hope it will be more than just Jim Irsay, because right now it's kind of like, oh, crazy Uncle Jim is popping off at Thanksgiving dinner. Like,
right.
You need to have grandpa, like the patriarch of the family, like Art Rooney or someone come in, Jerry Jones come in and be like, okay, enough is enough.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm totally with you on that. Brooke Pryor, ESPN. We'll close on this. The AFC. I think it took the Bengals win over the Chiefs, their third win over the Chiefs in the calendar year, having Jamar Chase back and everything else. I feel like now people are looking at the AFC as completely wide open. Like, it's just, I don't know how you've changed your opinion as to how the AFC is going to play out. But if we started the year, it was Bills, Chiefs, end of discussion. The Dolphins come along. Now the Bengals are coming along. So it's tough. It's tough out there to pick. Let's see how these things are going to go with the remaining weeks.
It's wide open, but like in a fun way. Like the NFC is wide open, but in like there's going to be some bad teams in the playoffs. Like the AFC playoffs are going to be so much fun to watch, and I'm going to nap through the NFC games, and I'm okay with that because that's self-preservation.
Yeah.
The Dolphins are really fun. I want to see how they rebound though against the Chargers, because the Chargers are a sneaky good team. They are better than their 6-6 record because Herbert is on their side.
Yeah.
I do think that the Bengals are at the top of the totem pole right now. Below them, I go Chiefs. And then I think there's a separation between the Chiefs and the Bills right now because of that Von Miller injury. Like, that's a big concern. You got him so that you could win a Super Bowl. Like, he was your insurance policy. It kind of reminds me of when, and I wish I could tell you how this happened. I didn't have insurance on my car for like a year, and I was paying money to State Farm, and I don't know how that happened, but like it turned out, nope, I didn't actually have the insurance, but I was paying for it.
How could Jake do that to you?
Right, that's what I'm saying. It was something about like a multi-vehicle discount. I thought I was paying for two. I was really paying for one. So like my husband had car insurance, but I didn't. And so that's kind of what it feels like the Bills are doing. Like, you paid all this money for a car insurance, you're going to get in an accident and you're not going to have it.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. But, to me, those are the top three teams. I'm also the Jets. To me, I need to see them have a better game this week because the last week was not great. The Dolphins are right there. I think the Steelers have a 2% chance of making the playoffs right now. So I realize how wild this sounds.
Yeah, the Panthers have a 9%.
Yeah, because they're in the NFC.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, the way that chaos is inevitable for the Cleveland Browns, zombie Steelers are inevitable in Pittsburgh if Mike Tomlin is the head coach. Like, they're going to keep this interesting right up until the end. So I don't think they're going to make it. But when I look at the fact that it feels like the Patriots are on a downward trend, the Jets are on a downward trend, Raiders are not playing great, the Chargers are not playing great. Actually, the Raiders are playing better than the Chargers right now, but still, it's fun. I love being in the AFC. I feel blessed every day that I wake up and I get to talk about like Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, and I'm not over here looking at like the ghost of Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers.
Brooke Pryor, little did I know, I've known you for a while. I did not know you are #blessed. I did not realize that you probably have somewhere in your house, you have a live, laugh, love, don't you?
Oh God, no. I do. Okay, let me be honest. I do have a wax melt that says live, laugh, love. But look, it makes my house smell really good.
All right. Hey, that's the important part. Brooke Pryor, ESPN. We'll see you on the TVs tomorrow.
I'll be there. I'll be spitting my hot takes.